He is known for his itinerant life and self-identification as a wandering eremite. He is recognized for his important contacts in the Netherlands and influence on other philosophers. His name is Franciscus Mercurius van Helmont. In the vast landscapes of Europe, where knowledge and ideas intertwined, there was a man who roamed the continent, leaving his mark on the minds and hearts he encountered. His name was Franciscus Mercurius van Helmont, and he was not just a philosopher, but a wanderer on a quest for truth. Van Helmont's life was one of constant movement, as he journeyed through the Netherlands, Germany, and England. He was a man of connections, forming important relationships with influential figures such as Adam Bareel and Serrarius in the Netherlands, and later becoming part of the esteemed circle known as the Lantern in Rotterdam, which included the renowned thinker John Locke. It was within these circles that his ideas took flight, inspiring others to ponder the mysteries of existence. But Van Helmont's wanderings were not limited to intellectual pursuits. He dedicated his time to practical endeavors as well, collaborating with Johann Conrad Amann in Amsterdam to develop a theory that would benefit the deaf community. His curiosity knew no bounds, and he delved into various fields, leaving no stone unturned in his search for knowledge. Throughout his journey, Van Helmont self-identified as a wandering eremite, a term that resonated deeply with his philosophical beliefs. It was through his constant movement, his encounters with different cultures and perspectives, that he found enlightenment. His nomadic lifestyle mirrored the philosophical concept of seeking truth through exploration and experiencing the diversity of existence. Franciscus Mercurius van Helmont, a philosopher and physician of the 17th century, had a life filled with intellectual pursuits and encounters with influential figures of his time. In 1661, he found himself in Kitzingen when he was unexpectedly taken captive by soldiers, led by Philip Wilhelm, Elector Palatine, and imprisoned by the Inquisition in Rome. For a grueling 18 months, he endured torture and confinement. After his release, Van Helmont delved into his studies and published his first work in 1667, a Latin treatise titled Alphabeti Veri Naturalis Hebraicae Brevissima Delineatio. In this treatise, he explored the Adamic language and its connection to Hebrew. He proposed that the Hebrew alphabet contained implicit pronunciation guidelines, comparable to musical notations for the tongue and voice. During his lifetime, Van Helmont formed significant friendships, including one with the renowned philosopher Gottfried Leibniz. Leibniz, who held Van Helmont and his ideas in high regard, wrote his epitaph. Van Helmont also introduced Leibniz to Christian Knorr von Rosenroth in 1671. Leibniz recognized the significance of the Helmontians, a group of philosophers who embraced the teachings of Jan Baptist van Helmont and remained loyal to the Paracelsian tradition. In 1670, Van Helmont embarked on a diplomatic mission to England on behalf of Elizabeth of Bohemia, Princess Palatine. During this time, he had the opportunity to meet King Charles II and encountered Robert Boyle, a prominent chemist and fellow Helmontian. These encounters further enriched Van Helmont's intellectual pursuits. Later in his life, Van Helmont became involved with the Quaker community through his relationship with Anne Conway, Viscountess Conway. He attended Quaker meetings and, in return, introduced Conway to Kabbalist thought. Van Helmont resided at the old Ragley Hall from 1671 until 1679 when Conway passed away. 2 decades later, he found himself entangled in the Keithian controversy within the Quaker community. Van Helmont aligned with George Keith, who had translated his work 200 Queries in 1684. Despite his hopes for a significant impact on Quaker beliefs, he faced resistance from George Fox, a prominent Quaker leader. In his writings, Van Helmont defended Kabbalist metaphysics, drawing inspiration from the Kabbalah Denudata of Christian Knorr von Rosenroth. His work, A Kabbalistical Dialogue, explored the continuum between matter and spirit, describing matter as a coalition of monads. This concept of monads, shared by Conway, Van Helmont, and Leibniz, has been interpreted by some as a form of pandeism. As his life drew to a close, Van Helmont continued his collaboration with Leibniz. It is even believed that Leibniz may have written the final book published under Van Helmont's name, Quidem premeditatedi et considerati cogitations super quatuor capita libri primi Moises, premeditate and considerate thoughts on the early chapters of the Book of Genesis, which appeared in English in 1701. Franciscus Mercurius van Helmont's philosophical journey and his contributions to various fields of study continue to inspire and shape our understanding of language, metaphysics, and spirituality. His dedication to intellectual exploration and his ability to form meaningful connections with fellow scholars exemplify the importance of collaboration and open-mindedness in our own daily lives.
Do you want to explore more philosophers? Who do you want to see featured next? Subscribe and leave a comment below to let me know. I'll see you in the next video.